Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Caleb Guilliams. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of compound interest. Albert Einstein is quoted, I don't think he actually said this, but he's noted for saying that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. And I think this penny example, it's a parable of if you were given an ability to get $1 million or double a penny every single day, what would you choose? I think you'll be shocked about the power of a doubling penny, and I actually show the math behind that. And so I think this number one, this video should illustrate the power of compound interest. And obviously it's extreme. Getting 100% every single year is pretty crazy, but it shows the value of that. But then I also take this story and create a little bit of a twist. And I say, okay, the power of compound interest is great, but there's also this thing called opportunity cost or lost opportunity cost, which essentially goes like this. Every time you lose a dollar, you don't just lose that dollar, but you lose what that dollar could have earned you the rest of your life. I don't think anyone is accounting for this. I don't think people think about this when they talk about their financial decisions and whether you lose money via fees, taxes, losses. You're not just losing that money, but you're losing what that money could have earned and done for you throughout your life. And so I think we need to be control freaks as it relates to holding on to money and seeing the value of our money, not just today, but in the future. The other thing I want to say is I did this video back when I was writing my book. Just a little I would say tip for those of you that want to create content. Writing is extremely hard for me. I struggle, I just had a hard time reading and writing growing up. And so when I was writing the And Asset, I did a lot of videos, and those videos were then given to someone who helped me put them into the book. And so this was back in the day. But I also I was grateful for this example because it illustrated the power of compounding and then the power of loss. And if you could take anything away, don't lose money. Warren Buffett's number one rule to investing is don't lose money, and his second rule to investing is listen to rule number one. And so without further ado, enjoy this video. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this video, I would appreciate a like. I would appreciate a comment. I would appreciate you sharing this message with someone that needs to hear this, and obviously subscribing to this channel because I'm continuing to pump out content to elevate the game as it relates to financial literacy and helping people unlock intentional living. This is Better Wealth with Caleb Williams. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about the extremes of compound interest, fees, taxes, and losses. And to do that, I'm going to really show a truth concepts calculator called cash flow. And I think it's gonna do a really good job kind of showing why we don't want fees, taxes, and losses to our money. So when I kind of got into the financial planning world, I heard a parable, and the parable kind of went like this: a peasant did some work for a king, and he could either got paid in a lump sum, but he asked the king, if you gave me a penny and you doubled it every single day for a month, and the king did it and ended up losing his whole kingdom because he didn't understand the extreme example of compound interest. So in this example, we're gonna take a dollar, and over 30 years or 30 days, we're gonna say it doubles. And so to double it is 100,000. And before I hit enter, guess on what that number is gonna be. If you guessed over $1 trillion, you'd be correct. If you're like me, when you first saw this, you made up your own calculator system because you didn't believe it. And obviously, in the beginning, you can see it. Day one, it doubles to $2, $4. But the power of this thing is, the last couple years really make up the big difference and make it be over $1 trillion, which is a very significant number. Now, that's great and all, but what if this peasant had to pay a fee? And so what I'm going to use for fees I'm going to use 2%. It could be maybe on a little bit of the high end, but if you're investing in like 401ks or mutual funds, you might be on the low end. So what does a 2% fee do to this number? Well, a 2% fee, believe it or not, eats up half. Now you have only $500 billion, which is still not a bad day, but it eats up half of your potential, which a 2% fee cutting your number in half is pretty extreme. But that's what fees do. They're a silent tax. They not only take money out, but now this money is never not earning for you. And this is can be an extreme example. So now let's look at the tax bracket. What if you had to pay 40% worth of taxes? So that was federal income. We're not going to be too extreme. So what does a 40% tax rate do to this? Now it drops it down to less than $1 million, $844,000. And so that's a bummer. You have $1 trillion, and by paying a 2% fee and a 40% tax rate, now your account is $844,000, which is still not a bad number, but compared to what? If you're looking at $1 trillion, this is a huge disappointment. And now, granted, we're assuming you're going to earn 100%. The reason this gets an extreme example is 100% is not realistic. These numbers are a little more realistic. So what if, and this is what I did, is I looked at the market history, and we're going to look at a 30-year time period, and we're going to take the very best, like this is with no fees, this is no taxes, this is assuming you invest all your dividends. Over 30-year time period, the average rate of return of the market was 11.5%. Now the actual return was a little bit lower, it was 10%, but that's still a really great gain. And so I copied these numbers, and what happens if I paste these values? Well, now you can see now at the end of 30 years, your ending value is $4. And so what we did was we looked at the extreme. We looked at your money would be worth over $1 trillion if you had $1 that doubled every single day for 30 days. Then we added a 2% fee, 40% tax rate, and added a really great return over 30 years that the market did. In the same example, you only earned $4. So why is this example relevant to us is we live in a place, I'm guarantee you many people are not putting their money where they're earning 100%. And so we want to make sure that we're not only trying to maximize the rate of return, but we're also minimizing. We want to do our best to minimizing the fees that we have to pay, the taxes that are going to be due on our money. And obviously we want to minimize the loss of our gains. Thank you so much for listening to the BetterWealth podcast. It would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with the people that you know and love.